to make you unhappy. Don't let them hate who try to tell you you're not free. Don't listen, I know a place where you don't need protection, even if it's only in my imagination. Even if our skin or our gods look different, I believe all human life is significant. I throw my arms open wide in resistance. He's not my leader, even if he's my president.
Hi, it's Fluff Bunny. I am doing the 16 Witchy Question Tag. I was tagged by Noah Tempestari, and I'm just going to go straight into it. This is also my first YouTube video, so I really don't know how this is going to go, but I guess it's easy because you have a script. So, do you have a witchy name? Right now it's Fluff Bunny. I don't know how long I'm going to keep it, but I kind of gave it to myself during Random Witches and Noah Tempestari's live chat where they were talking about how, first I had to have somebody tell me what a Fluff Bunny was, but they were talking about how it's kind of a derogatory term for a newbie witch or a witch that's all love and light, and I'm a firm believer in taking a negative and turning it into a positive, and I see nothing wrong with being a Fluff Bunny, so call me a Fluff Bunny all you want. I've been practicing about a year, and so for a lot of people that would make me a newbie. And I'm not all love and light, but I see nothing wrong with that either. Like, what's wrong with wanting unicorns and rainbows all the time? So, yeah. If you have issues with the Fluff Bunny, go deal with your issues and leave the newbies alone. Where are you located? What brought you here? And were you born here? That's kind of 3 questions in one. This should be like the 21 question tag, but whatever. I'm located in Georgia. I'm about 30 minutes outside of Atlanta. I have been here on and off since 2007. My dad lives here, so kind of what always brings me back. And I was born in California. Love California. I will be heading back to California. What was going to be like 2 weeks is now 6 months, but I will go back, I promise. Do you have any special jewelry or amulet you wear for spell work? No. I'm not really much of a jewelry person, so I have a couple of rings that I wear for energy and positivity, but not really anything that I'd wear particularly for a spell. What is your favorite space? In my old house, it was my witchy space. I had a whole alcove that was very protected, and now I'm kind of in a transitional corner of the room, and it's definitely not the same. So, I mean, I guess right now it would just be anywhere outdoors, anywhere away from people, where I can be outside and just enjoy the wonderful weather that we're having right now, even though it's like 34 degrees. It's better than being too hot. What is your favorite stone or crystal? Love, love, love selenite. Selenite everywhere. Moonstone. Black obsidian I use a lot to diffuse negativity. There's a lot of it at work, and sometimes I'll just hide it in my pocket. I recently purchased Tourmaline to use on a test. I won't find out how well I did for 6 months, or 3 months, somewhere in there. Once I find out, I'll let you know if it worked. How long have you been practicing? How did you come to this path? I've been practicing for about a year. I think there was a piece of me that always knew there was something more, but I grew up in a Christian household and was basically told that it's all make-believe. And it literally took somebody sitting me down and kind of being like, I don't know how to break this to you, but you're a witch. And that's why there's a lot more that you are reaching out for and you don't understand. I did start taking tarot lessons about 2 or 3 years ago, and that's kind of what led me to the path. Maybe one day, if I ever get a YouTube video to load, I will do a How I Became a Witch YouTube video. But it's a long story, and I've already gotten yelled at twice by YouTube for my video being too long. Do you have a deity? How do you connect with them? I do have a deity, not quite sure who they are, but I don't think I'm supposed to know right now. I do work with Papa Alegua and La Seren a lot, and I have Namaka, who is a Hawaiian sea goddess tattooed to my wrist. I was kind of brought into witchcraft by African witches, so I tend to associate more towards their deities just because that's what I was familiar with, because that's what they were familiar with. There's definitely a female water energy, and I associate it with La Seren. But like I said, I have Namaka tattooed to my wrist, but Hawaiian traditions aren't... They didn't write a lot of stuff down. They were cannibals. I mean, if you go back through Hawaiian history, beyond the monarchy, they were not very nice people. They were kind of savages. And so it's hard to really gather a lot of information other than just fluff on their religion. But when my grandmother was dying, she, who was Catholic, for as long as I can remember, was praying to the Hawaiian gods in Hawaiian. So I know there's definitely a connection there. Still kind of figure it out. Favorite incense or smudge? I don't like smells. I just don't. Not a big fan of smells. So I do. I do like burning Palo Santo to clear a space. And everybody uses sage. If I'm using an incense, it's more to work with a deity and to honor them than it is because I enjoy the smell. I did get Witchy Bear's smokeless smudge because I was planning on moving and I didn't want to have to bring a whole bunch of stuff to cleanse the house when I first got there. So I got that in his doorway desk. Maybe I'll do a video on that. Let's see. Have you ever had to clear a space of negative energy? So the house that I lived in prior to where I am now, the previous owners were arrested for selling meth, I believe. So, I mean, the energy was a little off in the house. So there was, I actually had a selenite grid set up where there was large pieces of selenite in every corner. And then clearing, and I didn't go downstairs because, yeah, no. Favorite witch show or movie? Everybody Loves Practical Magic, Hocus Pocus. Those would probably be my top two. My kids are in love with Harry Potter, so probably the ones that I've seen the most are Harry Potter and, I mean, yeah, I like Harry Potter, but not my favorite. Witchy shows, I like The Witches of East End, Charmed. I tried to get into Magicians really hard because it's on Netflix. Could not do it. I just couldn't. I don't, no. What do you do to raise energy before spell work? I kind of just take a second and really take it and absorb the energy around me. I don't really, I'm not a chanting person, but I do take a moment to say the prayers and kind of just pull in what's around me. Do you see yourself helping people magically? I have done tarot readings for people, and I have kind of done a create your own spell kit sort of thing where I've put herbs together, and basically it's like a choose your own adventure. Like, this herb's used for this herb's used for this, this herb's used for this. Use what you need to or what you feel you need to do what you want to do. And then like the candles and whatever, but I don't believe in giving people a spell and being like, here, because I think you have to make it your own. So I more give them the skeleton of what they need, and then kind of let them determine and let them figure out what they need from there. Favorite form of divination? I guess it would be tarot, and probably the pendulum. Tried Rider Scrying really hard, and I really can't do it. I really, really, really wanted to be able to do it, just not maybe later on in my path, but now I just, no, I can't. It just doesn't work for me. What element do you work with the most? Probably water or earth. Like I said, I work with Placerone a lot, so a lot of that has to do with water. And I like grounding things, so I use earth a lot. I'm Irish, Portuguese, Hawaiian, and then if you go back into my past life, there's a lot of African influence, so I tend to pull from all those, and that's kind of, I don't follow one path one way or the other. If you threw a witchy party, who would you invite? I don't throw parties. It's just not my thing. But if I had to throw a party to answer this question, I'd invite everybody. I would tag you, I would tag you, I would tag you, and everybody could show up, and somebody better bring booze. What are your witchy goals for this year? I think it's just to continue to grow on my path, and be able to focus more on that and actually devoting time each day, because I think we let a lot of things throughout the day kind of pull us away from what we need to do, and being able to harness our own energy to solve our problems. And so I think my biggest thing would be to stay focused this year. But that is my 16 witchy question tag. I tag anybody that watched this video that hasn't done it yet. And like I said, this is my first video, so tell me if you like it, if you didn't like it, what you liked, what you didn't like, if you want me to do more videos, I guess. Thanks. Good night.